to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, the Azimio la Umoja and UDA, Kenya Kwanza side, were engaged on a long day bitter exchange minutes after Moses Masika Wetangula made his verdict that Azimio is the majority, that Kenya Kwanza is the majority in the National Assembly. Remember, this debate was sparked by a High Court verdict that gave the government side a blow, that had a blow on the government side, announcing, of course, giving a verdict that Azimio is actually the majority. And so, after the bitter exchange in Parliament, Citizen TV invited both Kimani Ichung'wah and Junet Mohammed for the JKL show. 30 minutes, by 9:30, they sent, an information was sent, the producer tried reaching out to both. I can authoritatively confirm to you that Kimani Ichung'wah did not respond. Junet Mohammed is the one who responded and confirmed that they had been summoned to Statehouse. When I saw Jeff speaking that, there is one thing that crossed my mind. President can summon them. But do you think it was in order for Junet to reveal to the country that the leadership of an arm of government, like legislator, had been summoned to Statehouse? And that outrightly showed the way the president is controlling that house. The independence of that house, of course, in terms of all this, is there. But as I had analyzed, I did tell you that what happened in Parliament, the current impasse in Parliament, is threatening the broad-based shenanigan between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. Now, remember the Statehouse meeting, the Statehouse invite, it was not only the two leaders. It was the parliamentary leadership from the two houses and both the two speakers except Kingi, who was reported to be somewhere in Kilifi, of course, preparation for the burial of the father. Preparation, of course, after the death of the father. But the government side were actually on this other side, were invited. The other side were invited to Statehouse. Amongst some of the leaders were invited, Millie Odhiambo, the minority whip, Silvanus Osoro, majority whip, Robert Mbui, Sabina Chenge, Junet, Kimani Ichung'wah, Cheriot, and interestingly, Ndindi Nyoro's name appeared in this, and also Sifuna. The meeting never reached a conclusion, and even though the president is fond of telling the country when there is a phone call, when there is a strategic meeting, not much is reported. It is understood that audience side were not very comfortable with this. Robert Mbui never attended, Sifuna, and even Ndindi Nyoro never attended the meeting. But nevertheless, the meeting happened because Ichung'wah, when reached out, kept mum. Of course, the next day on Thursday morning, kept mum because the media were trying to look for the details of that meeting. But of course, in this podcast, we've also been trying to dig around and we'll dive deep into what exactly transpired and what was at the president's diary. Today, Parliament was relatively calm compared to yesterday, and the House Business Committee continued. Remember, yesterday, the House Business Committee even had a sitting. Remember yesterday, the Azimio side had even threatened that they are withdrawing their members from the House Business Committee. They were also occupying the majority side seats, something that is against the standing orders. And Parliament transacted its business as usual, even though it was also affected by absentees who are making their way to Addis Ababa. But today, all Rigathi Gachagua allies in Senate were removed from the UDA, from some parliamentary committees. All those ones that are in UDA but under Rigathi Gachagua. Those who were affected are the following: Karungo Dangwa, the Kiambu senator, was ousted as the chairperson of the Senate on Roads and Transport Committee. Others removed from key positions include Muranga Senator John Yutu, who was, until his removal, was chairing the Education Committee, and his Kirinyaga counterpart James Murango, who led the Agriculture Committee. Busia Senator Okia Omtata has also been removed from the powerful Senate Public Accounts Committee. And I'm a bit interested on this. Busia Senator is not an ally of Rigathi. But I understand that just some few days ago, he attended the burial in Laikipia and sounded like aligning with Rigathi. Of course, it didn't go well with the President Ruto side. I don't know why him is being removed, because he might have won with an independent ticket or some, I think it could be some affiliate. It's neither Azimio nor Kenya Kwanza. So I don't know why for him he's been removed. Nyandarua Senator John Medhu also lost his position as the chairperson of Senate Lands, Environment and Natural Resources Committee. He was also further removed from the County Public Accounts Committee as a member of the County Public Accounts Committee. So that is what happened, and I want to believe that was to sound a signal to what is supposed to happen in the National Assembly. So a section of members and reports coming from Junet Access reveals what exactly was at the President's diary when summoning the leadership of Parliament. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We completed Josephine's appeal. Of course, my team is still working with her so that she can set up a business and run the other things. So tomorrow, we will officially, of course, we are waiting to meet the landlord. So we'll officially finish up and buy some other things that are needed so that she can start next week on Monday. But tomorrow, I'll have a snippet of what's going on that other side. Now, why did Ruto call that meeting? Okay, two things. They were going to Parliament. I want to believe they were going to Citizen. I want to believe the Statehouse, the interview in Citizen, it was not a must for it to stop for the meeting to happen. They could still go for that. It ends around 10 or so. Then they are driven direct to Statehouse. From there they can go to Statehouse. But there is something that the president knew. The hardline stance by the two sides was going to spill over, and Junet and Ichung'wah were going to have a bitter exchange. Now that was going to give the opposition a fodder to puncture that unity agenda that President Ruto has been speaking about. And he knew very well that the media house was going to push the two gentlemen to the corner to explain what exactly is at the stake of that agreement. And I also want to understand that probably even at that time, when the two would appear to Parliament, they're also supposed to speak about Raila Odinga's AUC. And remember, both the state and Raila Odinga speak two different languages on this. The state is saying confidently Raila is going to win. And that was going to be Kimani Ichung'wah's statement when asked about it. But then, I want to believe that Junet Mohammed would have echoed what Raila Odinga said. Raila Odinga said, I'm going to Addis Ababa for that election. Nikipata, sawa. Nikikosa, sawa. Siniko na kwetu. So that was going to be a big concern. And I want to believe there was a really need for that to be addressed. Now, what was on the president's diary was this. Azimio's side were planning to table an impeachment motion against Moses Masika Wetangula. Yes. And that impeachment motion against Moses Masika Wetangula, it was a trap because they understand that even William Ruto's side are a bit uncomfortable with the fact that Moses Wetangula has declined to fold that Ford Kenya party. And Moses Wetangula is learning from Jubilee fallout. So he's declined to fold that Ford Kenya party. In fact, Moses Wetangula says the agreement between Ruto and him was between UDA and Ford Kenya. That party cannot fold. So if Azimio was to bring an impeachment motion in Parliament, outrightly it was going to rattle the Western vote hunt that William Ruto did just last month. President Ruto, late January, spent a whole week in Western Kenya lobbying for votes. So an impeachment motion against Wetangula, and that is why a caucus of Sun Western MPs, I think, were mobilized to issue a press briefing in solidarity with Moses Masika Wetangula. So that is one of the things that was there. Azimio were thinking about it. The other issue, removal of some Gachagua allied MPs, just like what has happened in the Senate. Now, 13 committees, their time is coming to an end, and they're supposed to be changed. And one of those is that of the budget committee. So I think it's normally renewed after 2 years. And Ndindi Nyoro's is one of them that is there. Last year, there was a time that Kimani Ichung'wah wrote some showcase letters to some of those committee members to explain why they should continue holding those positions if they're not working in the interest of government. Now, in the Senate, Rigathi Gachagwa's allies were removed. They were removed in the Senate. Now, that is the same thing that was expected to happen in the National Assembly. And that is the reason why Raila Odinga, that is the reason why that meeting was also called. But then the other issue is the impasse in Parliament was a clear signal that if Raila loses that bid in Addis Ababa, he will come back here and reset ties with William Ruto. His allies have said that. Those who support Raila have said that. They have told President Ruto, sell everything, do everything within your capacity to ensure that Raila gets that seat. Because if Raila fails, there is no way we are going to engage. And in fact, a betrayal tag. I can tell you, people like Babu are in Addis Ababa. They're so quick, I'm very sure, they will be so quick to type long con if Raila fails to get that seat. Babu and Kinasifuna, they will be running a long parable about how Ruto conned Baba. So Ruto understood that, and there was a post from Didmus Baraza. I want to read for you a post from Didmus Baraza. I saw it yesterday. It was very interesting. It's actually showing what Didmus Baraza, one of those MPs, I don't know if they can. Didmus Baraza. I got that post. Now, I don't seem to get his post, but there is something he said, that ODM is behaving like they know the outcome of what is happening in Parliament. Is it Baraza or Barasa? Yes. He said, there is something he said yesterday. I think if I get it, it will be very interesting. There is something he said yesterday. Yeah, I've not gotten his page, but he said, if you check his page, he said that ODM is behaving like they know what is going to happen in Addis Ababa. Parliamentary, I think Ruto is looking for a parliamentary unity over the budget making statement. The budget policy statements are in Parliament today, were tabled in Parliament today, and the Parliament is supposed to debate it. So remember last year when Gen Zs rose against President Ruto, it was about finance bill. You never know what can happen with this finance bill, and I'm very sure the president will not attempt to inject more taxes like they tried last time. Thank you.